Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune reading. Happy Beltane May Day, 1st of May. It's very exciting. Rabbits. So it's a major fire festival for fertility and all that. And so to honor that, let us do a reading for the world. This is going to be a very general reading for the world. I don't even know what it's going to be about, but that's the good thing. On this May Day. Now, I've actually started this. I baked a bit of this reading earlier by drawing an oracle card. I don't know what it is. It was one of the unicorn ones. And so let's see what that is to start us on this Beltane reading for the world. So how the world is doing in this moment of time. Oh, that's lovely. Okay, so we have one step at a time. Lots of little steps make big dreams come true. So that's the unicorn message for the world for this moment. Yeah, so bit by bit, little bit by bit. Where shall we put this? Let's put this over here. Let's put this unicorn right over here. Law. Okay, so fiddling with the unicorn for the rest of the entire video. So to start with, right now in the world, we are rebuilding, sort of. Some people are vaccinated, some people are hoping to get vaccinated soon. Some places are having still very big problems with the virus. Some people are getting the virus under control. There's a lot going on in the world. You know, there's a reason that "may you live in interesting times" is a curse. So I'm looking forward to getting back to boring. I like boring. So let's see what the runes have to say about the world for this reading on this special day. Ah! Sorry, this means the same as that, which is exciting. Right away. Right out the gate. Right out the gate. Okay. So our central issue here really is having to do with spirit. We have Avaz, which is the rune of the horse. The horse has to do with movement, which is also very relevant, but very much also with spirit. And I think during all this time, with all the focus on, the deep things like survival and having to deal with having missing people that we love, whether we're going to see them again or whether they have left for other realms, this is, there's a strong focus on spirit right now in the world, even though it's not really spoken of. It's something that is on everybody's minds, and I think a lot of people don't feel like it's something that is generally spoken of. It's very personal for a lot of people, so people don't want to talk about it because it's very personal. But also people, it's not that spirit has to do with like religion. I'm talking about just like your internal spirit in terms of how you deal spiritually with things. Now, leading up to this, we have Sovilo. Sovilo is, but basically, just to jump back onto the spirit thing, even if it's not religion-based, people still feel funny talking about this with people unless they really, really know the person and know that this is something that's open to be shared. So a lot of people are going to feel very alone with this, which in general we are, but, people always want to share. So anyway, leading up to this, we have Sovilo, the sun rune. This has to do with source energy. This has to do with basically connecting to your power and light, basically the return of light. And to a certain extent, we have seen some of this. There is actually hope at this point in a lot of things. A lot of things there's hope now that there really wasn't until recently. Like there were things that were just, there wasn't any. And now there is, whether it's, vaccines or awareness or various things that are bringing hope where there wasn't before. So this is actually leading to this place where we are all at now in this moment on Beltane, or Beltane, depending on how you like to pronounce it, or May Day, where we're really focusing on spirit, whether or not we're talking about it with anybody else. And the funny thing that I said, these means the same thing, because these mean the same thing. This is Ivaz, the rune of the yew tree. It has to do with patience and slow growth. Sometimes it has to do with foot into worlds kind of thing, like where you're moving between worlds, which very much ties into the spirit element of it. So, yeah. So what helps in this moment is, first of all, patience, because this is not something that happens, you don't just turn on the switch and the spirit machine runs. You basically, it's a long process. It's an exploration. It's, you take it as the river flows. There's no pushing the river. What helps with that is tending your needs, basically looking at what you need. And it's going to be in some ways less than you think it is. You really have to boil it down to the big. It's like that fable about the jars and the jar and the rocks, where if you put all the sand and pebbles in first, you won't be able to fit the big rocks. The important things in your life, make sure that they are there. Make sure that they are there first. Then you can fit in all the other things that you want to put in your life, but you have to make sure that the big foundational rocks are in there. And that's what this is basically about. Make sure that you've got in your life the things that you really, really need to have in your life. And from there, being patient will be less of a problem, but enjoy the steps. Like, make sure that you're savoring and being present for the steps on this path, like on this way forward, especially while you're exploring the world of spirit, like the emotional, mental realm of spirit and spiritual realm, obviously. What doesn't help is we have Isa and we have Algi's reversed. Now, Isa is the rune of stillness and standstill, and Algi's is the rune of support and protection, but it is reversed and it's on the lowest line. So this could either be worries about these things, or could actually be maybe you don't feel as supported as you'd like to. Maybe you don't want to be alone. Maybe you don't want to have put on you to stand alone in all of this. And maybe you feel stuck. Maybe you feel very, very, very stuck. You may also just be worried about that. Maybe you feel like nothing's moving forward, and that maybe you worry that you won't have the support that you think you need. You won't be safe or protected. If that starts to be something that drags you down, please bring yourself back up here. Grass is growing, and you can't see it growing, but it is growing. So it may feel like it's standing still, but it isn't. It is actually growing. It is moving forward. And if you go away and come back to it, you will see that it is longer. At the same time, if you feel like you're not being supported, you are taking care of that. That is in your hands, and you are fully capable of doing this. So be patient, keep moving forward, and tend your needs. And this will carry you forward to the next step, which is shown by Uru's reverse. Now, Uru's is the rune of the wild ox, the aurochs. It has to do with strength and health. It is reversed on the path line. So I'm going to read this a couple ways. One, you're really developing some inner strength that maybe you didn't have before. Sorry, seeing runes going down that inform what I'm talking about. Okay, what helps? You may also feel like you're not as strong as you'd like, or you're not as protected as you'd like, or you're not as healthy as you'd like, which is worrisome, of course, especially now. So what helps in this is we have Yira. Yira is the rune of the harvest. It's the rune of time, and it has to do with, first of all, passage of time. So even if you're not feeling as good as you'd like, this too will pass. Second, look for the fruits of your labors. You will already be seeing the results of what you've been working on here. You will be able to see them, like, tangibly, and they are here, and this will actually help you develop your sense of inner strength. Even if you're feeling like you're off your feet, you will still feel that you're strong enough, and you'll still feel that you have this inner strength. Now, what doesn't help is we have Tiwaz. Tiwaz is Tyr's rune. Tyr's the warrior god. It's reversed and it's on the lower line. You're going to be tempted to give up. It's a lot of hard work. It's been a lot of hard work, and it's a lot of steps. It's a lot, and you don't have to take all the steps at once. And that's one thing that, honestly, I have to remind myself all the time. It's like, yes, there's a lot of steps. There's a lot, but you don't have to take them all at once. You don't have to, it's like reading War and Peace. Which you can do, and which I have done. It's a lot of pages, but they're really easy to read. well, in translation. It's an easy to read book, but there's a lot. But you don't have to read it all at once, unless you're taking it in a course. I'm sorry, forget that metaphor, or simile. Let's see what else there is. Okay. So the reason that, what helps the fruits of your labor element is, this is sort of your manifestation. We have Ansus. Ansus is the rune of communication and manifestation. Your manifestation, based on what you're doing here, is very visible. This is the fruits of your labors that are tangibly visible at this point. You can see the results of what you're doing already. Your manifestation. What doesn't help the sort of the worry about giving up is that you're worried about even more negative surprises. You know, it's like we've been beaten down the past year and a bit and more. Just like one negative surprise after another. Paratho, the lot box, reversed, lower line. And this is sort of making us feel tempted to give up. Please don't give up. If you can continue, just to remind yourself that you are bringing things into the world, you are seeing results of what you're doing, and you are over this manifesting, whether you mean to or not. You're creating things in the world, and it's cool. It's going to help you develop your inner strength. And what this leads to is we have Manas reversed. Manas is the rune of humanity. And your place in it. Reversed on the path line, I would say you really can stand on your own. I know you were afraid of doing this earlier, but you really can stand on your own. You have the inner strength. You have your strength of spirit. And this is going to make you feel very worthy. This is going to make you feel very, wealthy in yourself. Like maybe not money wealth. You have a lot of negatives in this. I'm not negative. There's a lot of reversals in this. And most of them are having to do with inner. But anyway, we have Fehu. Fehu is the rune of wealth and worth, cattle, the wealth that you tend. And you're really seeing this. You're really seeing, at this point, especially once you're seeing the fruits of your labors, you've developed your inner strength, you feel like you really can stand on your own now. You're comfortable with that. You don't need the din of humanity around you. You're strong in yourself, and you feel worthy. You feel worthy of standing on your own. Now, what you're worried about is, you're still worried about the end of it. I mean, obviously we're all very frightened about what's going on. Okay, so wealth and worth, you're feeling worthy. As well, it's like a new beginning for you. This is Berkana, rune of birth, new beginning. This is a new beginning for you. Moving forward, standing very much more on your own than before. But we're still afraid of the endings that are happening. We have Raido reversed in the lower line, and that there may be more endings happening. Konaz in the lower line, which is the fire rune. It's just like all these things have been happening, and just we're tired out. But bring yourself back up here. Bring yourself back up to where, no, you know what, I can stand on my own. I do feel worthy, and this is a new beginning. It's always a new beginning. Now what this leads to is we have Othala reversed. Othala is the rune of the homeland and home, and reversed, it has to do with letting go of things that no longer serve you. So what helps in this point is we have Gebo. Gebo is the rune of the gift. It's the rune of exchange. Basically, you've made a decision to be here, and this is great. Be here, make that decision, be here. Make that decision. And this decision to be here is going to inform what you're going to let go. Do not worry about happiness. Happiness will happen. And it's not all about happiness. It's about interest in things, really. It's like what makes you curious enough to be excited to be here. Wunyo, happiness rune. Gebo, gift rune, like the exchange. And what this leads to is we have Ingvaz. Ingvaz is the rune of Ing, who's another word for Frey, who's the fertility god. And this has to do with really active creation and actively creating the world around you. I mean, obviously you can't create the whole world around you, but you have access to what's in your area, and you can work with that. And this is basically what this is saying, is that your next step on the path line after letting go of the things that no longer serve you is now you have the tools with which to work to make this to make the world around you a little bit better, to make it a little bit more comfortable. So that is an exciting reading for Beltane, or Beltane. I wish you a very happy Beltane, May Day, or whatever you're calling it, 1st of May. And our reading for the world law, just be patient, lots of little steps. You don't have to take them all at once, all good. So I will see you again next time. Bye!